You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Baker Mayfield. And this may be the Buccaneers and your fan base. This may be your worst nightmare right now. Because I'm going to be real, I thought he was going back to the Buccaneers, and I still am sort of rooting for them to get it done, even though I'm not a Buccaneers fan. But if I'm a Bucs fan, I did not want it to get to this point. I did not want it to get it to the point where the general manager is literally coming out and saying, we're going to allow Baker Mayfield to test the free agency market. All right? Because you never know what's going to happen. The idea that, for example, Kirk Cousins leaves, goes to the Falcons, and the Vikings are like, well, you know, Baker was really good with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and we've got Justin Jefferson, who I believe is one of the few wide receivers that's better than Mike Evans. We've got the league's greatest number 2 in Jordan Addison. It'd probably be a number 1 on half the teams in the league. And we got Lance Hawkinson at tight end, one of the best tight ends in the league. We bring in Baker Mayfield, who's 6 years younger, essentially, than Kirk Cousins. I mean, you could make a team. The Vikings would immediately stay very much in contention for the playoffs if they had Baker Mayfield. The Falcons, let's say the Falcons decide to pivot because of age, and familiarity with Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, and swoops in on Baker Mayfield. Then your rival in the division just got your quarterback, and you don't know what you're going to do. But it seems that this is not good. If you're a Buccaneers fan, you don't want to see that headline. Buccaneers prepared to let Baker Mayfield test the market. Because I think, my gut feeling is somebody is going to swoop in and outbid you for Baker. And I cannot believe, look, you get to this point, you got a time limit now. You're on a time clock, and it's counting down. And you want to get this done. What you wanted to see if you're a Buccaneers fan was, the tampering period starts on the 11th. The minute the tampering period happens, in the first 5 minutes, you want to see an announcement that the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield have agreed on a 2-year deal with an option for a 3rd year for about $100 million or $110 million. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. The Buccaneers continue to negotiate a new contract with quarterback Baker Mayfield. But general manager Jason Licht said talks could go past the start of the free agent negotiating period on Monday. Quote, a lot of the Bucs pending free agents know what the market is at this point, Licht said Friday. I think the start of the negotiation period is really almost the same as the start of free agency. It is. The start of the negotiation period was really the combine. We've talked about that. All right? Because of the agents and the teams, all their leadership, their decision makers are all getting, frosty and lit at restaurants hanging out with agents of these players. Because they're already talking and negotiating. Quote, so as we get to Monday, any of our players that aren't signed, it doesn't mean they're not coming back. It just means that maybe we've got an agreement that, hey, they'll see what their worth is. We have a disagreement right now. That's not a good sign. And then let's just try to work it out. We don't want the player to be unhappy either. It's not good. The Bucs officially signed wide receiver Mike Evans Friday to a 2-year deal, $41 million contract that would be worth as much as $52 million. Well, if you re-sign Mike Evans and don't have a quarterback to throw him the ball, you burnt that money too. All right, and I understand everybody would want to keep him so he can be a career Buccaneer. I get it. I absolutely get it. But you got to have a quarterback. What happens if, I don't know, maybe the Buccaneers are pivoting Could they be in the Kirk Cousins market and nobody knows? We haven't thought about that. That could help talks with Mayfield. Though Light said he is taking nothing for granted. Mayfield has set career highs at 4,000 yards, 28 TDs, and helped the Bucs to an NFC South title and a playoff win over the Eagles last season, but earned slightly less than $7 million. Well, and the other thing, and we don't talk about it enough, I don't bring it up enough, I've brought it up before, but not enough. The guy came in and balled out after you just lost the greatest quarterback in the history of football, Tom Brady. And Baker Mayfield did not blink. I mean, the spot wasn't too big for him. He went out there and he played his ass off. And he kept the Buccaneers in a constant state of fired upness. That's probably not a word. I don't care. You get what I'm saying. I mean, he's got that sort of Brett Favre kind of attitude, right? Light said the Bucs have contingency plans. Should Mayfield sign with another team? So, wow. The signing period begins Wednesday at 4 p.m. Quote, you always have to have, as a former Bucs head coach Bruce Arians would say, to look behind door number 2, 3, 4, and 5, Light said. That's true. That's smart. So, yeah, we always feel like we need options. Yeah, we always have to have plans. We also like door number 2 that's right here. Are we back on this Kyle Trask can play crap? I'm no way. No way. You don't go out and get Baker Mayfield last year if you really believe Kyle Trask can play. Light is referring to Gators quarterback Kyle Trask, who is in the 4th and final year of his contract but only has appeared in only 3 regular season games. Evans had one of the best seasons of his career playing with Baker Mayfield, 1,255 yards, 13 touchdowns, tying Tyreek Hill for the most in the league. Light sees the connection between Evans and the talks with Mayfield, but knows nothing is guaranteed. Boy, I don't like the way Jason Light is officially talking differently than he was just a few days ago. Quote, I see a link between the two because they like each other. They played well with each other, Light said. But once again, it doesn't make it automatic. I'm not taking anybody for granted here, so it's a good start. It's a good player to throw to. Who wouldn't want to throw to Mike Evans? But Baker is going to make the decision for himself. Sounds to me like Baker is not happy with the way this is going. For his part, Evans says he feels confident Mayfield would re-sign with the Bucs, though he admitted his confidence level is less than 100%. Quote, me and Baker talk, Evans said. I just want what's best for him. I think what would be best for him would be to play with me and Chris Godwin. But there's a lot of great receivers in this league could use his services as well. But I can play with whoever is at quarterback. Obviously, I hope it's Baker. But if not, I can make it work. Hopefully we can get him back. He's a hell of a player. I appreciate him. They're going to handle the process, and I trust Jason and the front office no matter what happens. Light also addressed other free agents, talking about Tristan Wirfs, Devontae David. So, I don't know. That's all of a sudden, you hope that you would have this on lockdown prior to the clock clicking over to the official negotiating period or tampering period opening. So what this tells you is Baker's agent knows there are other teams out there. Especially if this, and it sounds like it could be coming from Baker's camp. Maybe. I don't know that. But I did a video, I think it was yesterday. They were $20 million a year apart. That's a lot of money. I still thought they would meet in the middle. But it could be that Baker already has an offer on the table that is more than the meeting in the middle from the Buccaneers. And depending on where that's at. I heard a podcast this morning I was listening to in Patriots land, and there's still some smoke around Baker Mayfield and the New England Patriots. So I found that rather interesting, and I didn't think that. But this is taking a turn, and I was really sort of crossing my fingers and rooting for Baker to sort of re-up here. I think it's a good place for him. But for them to allow this to happen, I think you're flirting with the idea that a team is like, you know what? We're a train wreck at quarterback. We have been for a long time. And you guys know Baker, somebody that's in some organization. Really, the Falcons is a big one there. And even the Vikings, again, with Kevin O'Connell. Why not just go get Baker and solidify the quarterback position for 2 to 3 years and try to go win some games? Wow, I did not expect to be doing this video this morning, that the Buccaneers were going to allow Baker to hit free agency. It's a bad idea, I think. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.